Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lads Discuss DC. Ow, I just smacked my hand against the radiator. My hand is now in pain. I'm Billy McCarthy. And joined with me, as always, is Saber King. Ow.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
It's on my hand!
Still, walk it off. What's up, everybody? I'm happy to be here talking about another new 52 animated film.
Yeah. And with us as well is a Duo Dreamer.
Hey everyone, how's everything? Happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
We're recording this in Halloween, but I'm still going to say happy Halloween.
Yes.
Happy whatever holiday you're watching this on. You never know, someone might want to watch this on Christmas.
True.
I can't imagine this would be the best Christmas present to give them.
Oh, wow. I take offense to that. For one, because it's my video, and two, it's one of my favourite movies we're talking about.
Well, I was mainly talking about the second part.
Fair enough. Alright, so this film we're talking about is The Son of Batman, and this is a film, more or less, is a bit conflicted with a lot of Batman fans in a way. One, it features a very disliked character. It kills off a fan favourite character, sort of kills off a fan favourite character, and is... It's kind of weird how a lot of the criticisms I've seen for this film, because when I first watched this when I was in sixth form, for those that don't know, that's sort of like college, and people didn't really seem to like this film, which I was a bit surprised by when I grew up. You know, like when you're a kid and you really like something, but then as you get older and you're curious about the reception it's got, and you're really surprised at how much people disliked it.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel like for this film, because there's a lot of things that I grew up with, not realising a lot of people hated it. It's kind of remarkable.
I was surprised people hated it.
I don't think a lot hate this film, but more or less they're disappointed with it, or they thought it was meh at best.
That's probably a better summarization. It's meh.
Right, and I do have one itsy bitty issue with this film, but I'll get to that at the end of my review of it, which is going to be the start of the review right now.
Okay.
Comedy 101, Billy McCarthy. Buy it now.
No.
Oh. So going into this film, I already knew who Batman was. I kind of had an idea who Damian was-ish. Mostly through all the videos I saw of him. Because growing up, Damian was kind of popular in my school, but not as popular as, like, say, good old Dick Grayson was, you know, with that fine ass of his.
Mm-hmm.
those clapping asses.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, as well as the other Robins, Red Hood was also incredibly popular, and Batgirl for particular reasons.
Which Batgirl? Barbara Gordon, Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain.
Just Batgirl. Nearly all the boys in my school talked about Batgirl. I don't think it really depended on the character, it was just more or less the suits they wore.
Okay, then.
Yeah, but surprisingly, Damian was not seen as the most positive Robin amongst the fans where I'm from. Is that kind of the same with you guys?
Oh, yeah. Damian has been hated ever since his conception.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of a Damian hater myself, but I have liked some incarnations of him, and this one's not one of them.
I will admit this Damian is a bit off-putting, to say the least. Alright, so to give
ratty and spoiled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of got what this movie was trying to do when it came to someone like Damian. He's been raised by assassins, especially by an egomaniac, which is Ra's. Ra's al Ghul.
Raish.
Bringing that old joke back. So, obviously, he's been raised by the League of Assassins. And let's just say the League of Assassins aren't exactly parent figures of the year. They have the mentality that their way of life is the best, and anyone not superior should die. It's like, yeah, that's
Pretty much the strong will live, the weak shall die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of understandable why Damian is kind of the way he is. But of course, at the same time, I am okay. Even though I'm a big Batman fan, I did not actually know Batman trained with the League of Assassins when I was a kid. It wasn't until I saw this
Uh,
movie that I was like, oh, okay, that actually explains a lot of his skills.
I think that was more of a Chris Nolan narrative.
Yeah, yeah, that's something that I was mainly with the Christopher Nolan films. Outside of that, no, he's never trained with the League of Assassins. He's fought them. He's
Ah,
or he's even what's the word? He's studied under he had some of the students there were actually students of the same martial arts class that he took. So that's how he knows a few of the members, like Lady Shiva, Bronze Tiger, and of course his countless battles with Ra's al Ghul. So he didn't train there, but more or less, he's fought them a couple of times.
I guess it makes sense for someone like Batman to study many sort of arts of like. It's kind of interesting with Batman's style. It's like he studies not lethal takedowns, but he mixes it up just so it's not like a lethal kill. Similar to Ryu's teacher from Street Fighter, who studied the what's the move again?
Asatsuken.
Yeah, so he studied many of those deadly techniques, but he, of course, evolved it so it didn't have to be lethal. That's how I kind of saw Batman when he studied the League of Assassins.
Well, that's why I was always telling people that, he if he wanted to, he can kill you, but he chooses not to.
Yeah, it's kind of. I do like all the villains that he faces, and particularly in a lot of the animated movies, because, well, it's like they show off how much Batman has learned from all his enemies and how, he's had plenty of opportunities to end them right there and now. This movie is kind of the same. Like, the amount of fights he gets into in this movie and how close he gets to probably causing a indefinite fracture to their bone structures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, That's the thing I also love about this movie. The fighting is so brutal.
Yes.
Like, like you hear the impact of every punch, every sword stab, every. Like, it's everything I wanted in a sort of Batman fight. It needs to be brutal. No, it doesn't have to be like Deadpool over the top gory, decapitation, kick of the head over, Kung Lao cut in half. No, things could be brutal without all that. And this movie proved it.
Yeah, and I do agree. It's like one of the first Batman movies I see that's really somewhat hardcore, but not too hardcore in terms of like blood and stuff, but hardcore in terms of, like you said, like feeling the impact of every strike, feeling, and also the emotion too. You can feel some emotions from Batman and Damian Wayne, and even Dick Grayson when he was in there for about a minute or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of screen time, did he? What's actually
No, but it was fun. It was funny though. It was fun having him there.
It is a shame though that his fight was essentially cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Damian versus Nightwing. Come on.
Although you do get to see some still shots during the end credits though.
Yeah, I know, but it's like what we could have had.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those people that dwells on the past. I'm happy with what I got. But anyway, so one of the big surprises of this movie, well, sort of surprise, I didn't expect Deathstroke to be the main antagonist, really. Because I've never, it might be my opinion, I never saw Deathstroke as a Batman villain, to be honest.
Well, he's not a Batman villain.
Right, but
he's more of a Nightwing or Titans villain.
Exactly. But everyone seems to always say, oh, Deathstroke's my favourite Batman villain. I'm like, well, he rarely ever fights Batman. In fact, he's fought Superman more times. Funny enough. It's like...
Yes.
And just like I said, he's more of a Titans villain. Obviously, he gets hired to kill people, but most of the time he goes for the Titans because they're powerful bastards.
Yeah.
And they're worth a lot of money. And that's the thing, he's a mercenary. He's not a power-hungry villain. He gets paid to do his job and he goes doing it.
But I don't know if you know this, Rich. Has he ever trained with the League of Assassins? Deathstroke? But that was the thing that they did in the movie. They did that in the movie where he was trained by the League of Assassins. He was groomed to be the leader. He was
Yeah.
groomed to be the husband of Talia, but then something fell through. Like, was that ever in the comic book?
No, that wasn't. That was something specifically made for this film, and this is one of the many problems I have with this movie.
I like that.
They. I mean, it's cool on paper, but again, it completely. It turns the character into essentially this whiny, entitled man who feels like he should have had everything handed to everything because he worked hard for it, but because Damian is the grandson of Roz and he's the son of Batman, he gets a silver spoon in his mouth. That does not track or even remotely fit the character of Deathstroke, because
I never saw him like that. I always saw him as that, he was the apprentice, and of course he believes he can take that throne from Damian. Like, essentially, he can prove he is the more superior assassin. I never saw him belittle Damian. In some ways, I felt like he did have some respect for Damian, but of course, being the character he of course wanted not the power, the clan. He wanted to prove he's the best, which is what Deathstroke's kind of always been about. He's always wanted to prove he's the best, like when he snuck into the army during World War II, just to prove, hey, I can be as good as any of these soldiers.
Well, he didn't sneak in; he joined the army.
But he faked his age.
Again, in the old canon, yes, but I mean, it's pretty much been retconned out. Again, the one of the many problems. I don't know if we're still talking about the story, but I thought the story to this movie was okay. Nothing too grand, nothing that's gonna make it stand out amongst other Batman films of the past.
Of course,
but it's certainly better than the last two Batman movies in this universe, and I feel like okay. It was all right, but I don't like this portrayal of Deathstroke and just how they did him. I feel like that kind of undercuts a lot, because if you go read his stuff, or hell, if you go see his animated film, you will see that the Deathstroke that is in this movie it's not even a fraction close to.
Are you talking about Dragons and Knights?
Yes.
I still need to see that movie, actually.
I love it. I love it.
It is hands down the best portrayal of Deathstroke. Because again, recently this movie portrays Deathstroke as a villain, and that's kind of going back to his Terminator roots, where he was just a villain and he wanted things. But then you look at his movie, his recent movie that came out. It kind of pretty much goes alongside with, okay, Deathstroke is now an anti-hero. He is not a villain. He is. He walks the line. He has a code. He has these rules that he will not do when it comes to his assassinations. And there's more layers to him. This Deathstroke is just a one-dimensional. I feel I need. He's just a one-dimensional goon, and that's one of the main things in this story. I don't think
like he's like entitled to everything, like you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. He's essentially he's an exact duplicate of what Damian could be.
I was just thinking that same thing. I was thinking that he's pretty much like a grown-up Damian Wayne, right?
Yeah, like
based on the movie.
And then
Deathstroke has some sense of honor in that movie as well. Like, he wasn't going to just kill the scientist's family.
No, but that's few and far between. Again,
how I've always viewed Deathstroke is that you are right. He does not cross the line. He doesn't kill women and children or innocent people. But if you pay him enough, or you get on his bad side, he will gladly tear your anus in half.
That's mostly right, yes, but
But
again, there's
also,
more.
he's not completely above the level of killing police officers, killing like just petty criminals, or just soldiers that are just doing their jobs. Like, he doesn't care who gets in his way as long as he gets what he wants. And he's mostly fueled by money. Like, as long as he gets his
Well,
money, he's happy.
well, again, yes, that's like that's the middle incarnation. But again, the recent comics have portrayed him as more than that, and that's what I love about it. Is like, okay,
I understand it
uh,
in the latest comics, but I'm talking about when this film came out. This is what
yeah,
Deathstroke was. He's not an anti-hero. He wants money, and he kind of sees the League of Assassins is a good way for essentially creating his own not criminal empire, but essentially getting his name more out there to probably bigger contractors.
well, again, I don't see that, and what the story implied, that's not the case. Because again, he wants to be a conqueror. That's it. He doesn't want to be an assassin. He wants to be the king of the assassins. He wants to be a conqueror. He doesn't care about the money at this point. I mean, so again, that was one of the weaker aspects, and I really just, but I did like the struggle that went on in this story, like the struggle of Bruce Wayne trying to take his biological son away from the dark side and try and steer him towards a different, better path. And
That's
that
like
is
the
one of
opposite
the
of Star Wars.
yeah, no, and that's actually, and it's something that's not just uh it's not exclusive to this film. Again, Damian is one of the pillars of this universe, and when you get to the end, and when you get to the end of this universe, he clearly has changed. He's grown up, but so it kind of makes putting up with him all the more better because you know where he ends up going in the end.
Yeah, I tell you what, to wrap up my thoughts on Deathstroke before moving on to the next box, we are getting to the 20-minute mark with me, so I'll just briefly talk about Damian and then pass the torch on to Duo. So Damian, I can actually agree with Richard in some extent. What Damian does become in the end is actually more credible. I feel like the hate for Damian is exaggerated, really, because I feel like when he became the new Robin, I think it kind of shafted away a lot of the other popular Robins at the time. Because whenever a new Robin comes, people saw it as, oh no, they're replacing my favourite one, so I now immediately hate this one. The same thing happened with Jason Todd, hence what led to him becoming the Red Hood afterwards.
I think, I think maybe it's because the difference with with Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Timothy Drake, is that it wasn't handed to them. They had to work from the bottom.
Yes,
They had to work from the bottom to get to the point where they are right now. Whereas Damien, everything was already given to him. He's already knows how to fight. He has intimate knowledge of almost any combat discipline, kind of like with Batman.
Well, that's what I'm
Everything's handed
saying.
to him.
It wasn't really handed to him. He's obviously trained way before, Dick Grayson ever did.
Well, yeah, no, but again, to disagree with that, I kind of agree with what Duo's saying, and that's one of the contributing factors of why I don't like Damian. I've never liked him as a character in comic books, except for recent comic books. But again, you're right. He did train at a young age, but see, that's the problem. Dick Grayson, what makes Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake all special as Robins is two of them had actual childhoods, and one of them had their parents taken away from them and had to be raised in the gutters and essentially find their own way in life. Damian, as soon as he was conceived, he was immediately put into the League of Assassins. There was no child. That's why, again,
here's the thing, though. That's what kind of made it interesting for the whole Bruce Wayne and Damian, relationship is that Batman wants to give Damian like a childhood, and every time Damian tries to do kid things, he feels uncomfortable with it because he grew up with deadly killers. So it's kind of like a whole new world to him, which I've always enjoyed about Damian.
But then here's the thing, though. I think what fans might be feeling is like, does he really deserve the mantle of Robin? Whereas Dick, Jason, and Tim kind of earned that mantle. They earned it. Whereas Damian, like when Batman knew who he was, and he figured, I can, maybe mold him into the way I feel he should be, just gives him the mantle of Robin. And you see in the movie, it like Dick was saying, like, I had to earn that. I had to earn this uniform.
Yeah,
it spoke volumes. That's true.
I should say, you guys have good points, and I understand the whole concept of Robin, but each Robin's of course going to be different. Each one's going to have different personality, and even how they've raised is going to be different. I feel like if Dick or Todd had the same childhood as Damian, I kind of see people still liking those characters. I just feel like more of the hate for Damian comes in the form. This is the same thing like I was getting to with Jason Todd. Like when he became the new Robin, people didn't like him because people loved Dick Grayson because they grew up with him a lot more. Because when people get sidekicks in comic books, movies, etc., people are a bit iffy on them until they've made their impact. But then when they've grown attached to that sidekick and then they're just replaced, people get upset about that because it's like, but he's not my Robin. That's how I always viewed the hate for Damian and also Jason Todd for that matter.
Well, again, the difference is, again, you bring up good, I think we all bring up good points, but the difference at the end of the day, is that, shut up. The difference at the end of the day, Jason now has a respectable fan base, not because he's Red Hood, but because, and this is what Damian does not have, other than he's the biological son of Bruce Wayne, because each of them have their own characteristics. Dick is the heir to Batman. He was the first adopted son. And in some ways, he is more of a son to Batman than any of the Robins. Jason Todd is the example. He's the one example of Batman's code possibly not being true. Because again, if Batman's code is so righteous, then why did he let the Joker kill Jason? And that's what's gained him a fan base. Tim Drake, he's the detective. He's more he arguably has that detective stuff down more than Dick and Jason ever could. And even Stephanie Brown, the underrated Robin, I
didn't even know there was another Robin with that.
Was that from the Dark Knight Returns?
No. That's Carrie Kelly. Yes, okay. There was a fourth Robin before Damian and after Tim. It happened in Tim Drake's comic book. Stephanie Brown, aka Spoiler, aka the second Batgirl. She would eventually take up the mantle of Robin because Bruce just felt like, okay, it was her time. Again, because Tim Drake had. To make a long story short, Tim Drake decided to leave because his father told him, I don't want you being Robin anymore. I don't want you going out there and risking your life. So Bruce went to Tim Drake's girlfriend to become Robin. And she was Robin for a short time, but but fans unfortunately took that away from her. So that's why you don't hear much of her. It's because of the fans, unfortunately.
Hearing how many Robins there are, I'm very tempted to say these guys are from the Robin Hood.
Boo.
I couldn't resist. I was like, should I do that? I'm going to do that.
Those are my points. Again, we all make great points, but at the end of the day, everything you say is good, Billy, but that's still not enough to convince.
It could be...
for me at least.
I guess this could
for
be a
Damian.
segue into my final thoughts on the movie as a whole. I feel like the reason I'm more friendlier with Damian because this movie was my introduction to Damian. Like I said, my other introductions were kind of through YouTube videos, but of course I kind of skimmed through those during my YouTube days. But this movie really made me like the character. And yes, at the start, he was a bit irritable because I just hate kids that are snobby like that. Especially when I'm like, I could easily throw you through that window right now, but you're a child and that would be real scummy of me to do.
Yeah, no.
Look, hey, it didn't stop most of the grown-ups in that movie to beat the hell out of him.
Exactly.
Like, let's be real here. We've all had a kid that we've run into that we've just really wanted to kick like a football.
Oh. I'm a teacher. I've come through a lot of those as a teacher, but I can't do it because I don't want to lose my job.
But
yeah,
I will say, Damian's saving grace in this movie that made me like him was the end of the movie. Like, he could have easily killed Deathstroke right then and there, but you know what? He took up like his real father's ideal that he's not an executioner. He doesn't have to go down this pathway. And he chose
justice, not vengeance.
Exactly.
Much.
I love that about Damian. Like, of course, in Injustice 2, they kind of took that away from him as an adult, which is a bit weird. It's like, so you kind of built that up just to take it away from him after. But but I really did like that about this movie when it came to Damian. And that's how I kind of feel. I feel it as more as a Damian movie than a Batman movie. Which, it sounds like Richard's trying really hard to, screw you, Billy.
Well, if you think about it, that and also Batman versus Robin, which is the next movie to that, it is kind of chronologizing Damian, if you think about it.
Yeah, that does not help.
So, my final thoughts on the movie, I think it's a great movie. The writing's really good, the action's really great. Damian, I think, is a likable character. He's not, he's no Luke Skywalker, he's no memorable character, really, but, the message they got with him was really good. And I look forward to maybe looking into more about Damian in the comics. Hopefully, it's not as bad as people say.
Yeah, no. I kind of feel the opposite. I am a little positive towards this movie now that this universe is over and knowing the eventual 2 crap movies we would get after Batman versus Robin. I feel like this is a great introduction to this is a great introduction to the bratty side of Damian. And again, I never liked him. This movie pretty much didn't change that, but I liked how they were trying. They genuinely did try, but the problem was it would kind of flip-flop back and forth because Damian this is his characteristics. He is the biological son of Batman. Therefore, sometimes he's either going to get things handed to him or sometimes he's going to be quote-unquote better than Batman's other sidekicks. And that wasn't displayed here because, again, I love the fact that when Nightwing did show up and he actually did stay around, it literally showed, there was literally a great moment where, like Duo said, it's all like, you think you can be Robin. Well, you can't because I earned that title. And I love the fact that even though Dick is now his own man, he still feels like Robin is his. It was his title. It was his mantle. And for Damian to inherit that, it kind of feels unwanted on his part because, again, he just got handed to it because Bruce pretty much decided if there's one thing that'll keep him on the path of righteousness, it's him being Robin. Even though he did that once with Jason Todd, who doesn't exist in this universe. So it's weird that he's pulling that hat trick again with this. I thought Deathstroke was completely out of character. I didn't like this portrayal of Deathstroke one bit. I liked the addition of Killer Croc at the beginning.
I kind of like that they kind of gave him his Arkham design as well as a bit of the comic design.
Yeah, that was nice. I love Nightwing, and Nightwing unfortunately would get shafted a lot in this universe up and towards the end.
And not in the way he probably wanted by Barbara.
Come on.
Shut up. Well, don't even get me started. No, don't even.
Family friendly.
How Barbara was treated. And I guess the biggest thing that still keeps this movie meh for me, but still I appreciate it more. It is Jason. How do you pronounce his name? Not Momoa. Moana.
Moana.
I'll just call him.
I'll Jason.
Yeah. Okay. I still am not the biggest fan of Jason's portrayal of Batman throughout this whole universe. And it's not because he's not this actor. It's just because...
He's a good actor.
He is a good actor, but the problem is he doesn't have a Bruce Wayne voice. He just uses a more tempered version of Batman's voice. And throughout this whole series and this whole universe... he never evolves, and that's not his fault. It's just I feel like they need to always get a Batman actor who has range as both Batman and Bruce Wayne. And,
exactly.
Hold on, Richard. Something's going on with my OBS.
Go on.
No, I was saying I definitely agree because that's why.
Hold on, guys.
It's no wonder why people
my OBS is
always
glitching out.
Go ahead.
I was saying my OBS is glitching out, so. Don't continue yes yet. Don't do this now. Come on, we just got to the half an hour point. Yeah, now it's buffering. Oh my god, are you serious? Come on. The worst part is if this crashes and we lose half an hour of footage.
Oh, jeez, damn it. And we're on a roll, too.
I know.
I know. I was just noticing, like, hold on, why is the timer not moving now? Because obviously I keep an eye on the timer as we do these, and... come on, don't do this now. It's not even coming up saying that it's not responding. It's just gone white, and it's just now buffering. It's like...
oh, frig.
Frick me. Oh. Is it working now? Alright, we're all good now.
Okay, thank goodness.
Sorry about that, people. My OBS, just as usual, being a massive dick to me, like it did when I was playing Siren Head, which is a shame because those videos were hilarious when I played them. Sadly, you only get like 4 frames of it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Well, to wrap up my statements, again on Jason, he was, he did his best to carry this movie and to carry all of his other movies, but I'm still not going to remember him as, I'm still not going to put him in my favorite Batman tier actors, but, you know, hey, that doesn't mean he doesn't have badass moments, because let me tell you something, when the next movie pops around, he has probably one of the most badass lines of all of the Batman, and so he's got that at least. So yeah, I thought this was okay. You know, it's better than Justice League War and even Throne of Atlantis, but it was a decent try. So good on you.
Duo, do you want to give your essential thoughts on this movie?
When I first heard about it, I was very curious about it. I knew it was going to be about Damian, but the first time I ever heard about Damian, I think it was from Injustice.
Ooh, not a good one.
Yeah, and my thought was that I thought Damian was the son of both Batman and Catwoman. That's what I thought. But then when I heard that it was going to be with Talia of the League of Assassins, I thought that kind of makes a lot more sense, seeing that, you know, I felt that Batman and Talia went further in their relationship than he did with Catwoman.
I wouldn't say that. No, yeah.
I wouldn't call getting someone drunk a good, better relationship.
Right.
Well, yeah.
That's my interpretation, especially, you know, Batman does have a big soft spot for Talia. You know what I mean? He has a big soft spot for Talia. But anyway.
Even in this movie, he saved her life.
Yeah.
True.
So, it was interesting to see how Damian grew up, where he was growing up, how his upbringing was, and just how confident he was. Very confident and very cocky, very spoiled, which I kind of feel like, well, he's a young kid and he is grown up into power, so it makes sense of him to act the way he does, even with when he was with his father, and he's like, this all this will be mine, like, kid.
I didn't really touch on that.
You only came here. You already came here with a cup of coffee, and you're already going on claiming your territory already. It's like,
that was another thing I do have to compliment this movie. It's sort of dry sense of humor. Like, for instance, when Killer Croc had those batarangs thrown into him, and he just casually just flicks them off like they're just flies. It was funny.
Yeah.
And even at the end, when Damien's like, "Oh, can I fly?" and Batman's like, "No, no."
No, it's not. It's not like I want to drive. No, I know how. It's all like I love that. I even love they nailed Nightwing's dialogue in this, especially.
Oh my god, my favorite.
Go ahead.
My favorite dialogue between him and Damian is when Alfred was tending to his wounds from Damian. Like, wait a minute. And I guess that's why we didn't get to see the fight. We have to leave it up to our imagination. The fact that a kid actually gave Nightwing a hard time was just like, what the hell did he do to him? Kind of thing.
I mean,
yeah, no,
I suppose it's that.
That's to me. That's to me, like, it's kind of like, it leaves to the imagination. But anyway, getting back to my top favorite part of the movie was when Alfred was tending to him, and he was complaining about his the wounds and stuff, and then Damon said, "Well, maybe you need more anesthetic," and then Dick says, "Well, maybe you need to shut the." and then Alfred's like, "Master Dick!" Like, you knew what he was going to say.
Even Alfred had a funny line in this movie, like when he just said to Damian, "I'm too old to care."
Yeah, no, agreed.
Alfred always steals the spotlight in anything.
Yes, he does. My favorite line, and
yeah,
honestly,
he does.
This is how I knew this Nightwing was going to be handled well in this universe, and he still is, even though he got shafted through most of it, is his opening line. Again, Damian's about to kill Ubu, and then Nightwing stops him, and his first line is, "The psychos just keep getting younger." I'm like, oh my god, that you did it. Like, that's Nightwing. It's all like, I was already iffy about. I don't care much for this Batman. I'm not caring much for Damian. But as soon as Nightwing showed up, I'm like, oh, they took real care of Nightwing. They really paid attention.
I mean, the animators have stated that Nightwing is their favorite.
Oh yeah, and
although
I can tell.
you wouldn't really think that after you see Apocalypse War.
No, although I only mentioned Jason as Batman, but I really got to give them props for getting Sean Miller from Firefly to play Nightwing. That's genius casting on my part.
I've never seen Firefly, so I don't know who that is.
I've heard of Firefly, but never seen an episode.
Oh my god, what's wrong with the both of you? You need to see it.
Just pay more attention to more entertaining stuff like The Last of Us Part 2.
How dare you compare The Last of Us Part 2 to Firefly, you bastard!
Wow, dude. But getting back to my thoughts on the movie, overall, I liked it for what it was. And the way they ended it, I was hoping to see, like, are we going to see more of this dynamic between Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne? Because it's like, I wouldn't say this is new to Batman of raising a son, but it's new to him that it's his actual son that he's raising.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that is one of the best elements of this movie is seeing Batman try, but it's all like, again, he can only do so much, and I even love how he talks to Alfred. He's all like, Alfred, Was I ever this much of a brat as a kid? He's like, sir, you were wonderful as a child.
Deep down in my heart, I'm sure Alfred survived this universe because his comedy is just too good to die.
Oh yeah,
Well,
and
Go
there
ahead.
was another line I like from Alfred. When Alfred was showing Damian's room, and then Damian was like saying, "Okay, servant, I want this and that and that." And he said, "Oh, do you want a hush wet towel or a bowl of peanuts while you're at it?" And then like Damian said, "I may be little, but I know sarcasm." And he was being sarcastic. I'm like, yeah, that's Alfred.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Alfred don't take no shit.
Listen,
No, he doesn't.
listen, no matter
Like
what
you
the
can tell,
film
like
is.
you can tell he doesn't take shit, but it's very subtle, and it's good. It's the good type of subtle where like, okay, Alfred's pissed off.
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
no matter what film he's in or show, if it's bad or good, Alfred steals the spotlight.
He does.
Oh yeah,
He does.
most definitely.
And even though
such a great
he's in there for
character.
a little bit, it's still memorable. Like it leaves still like that impact. Just a few things, whether it's like giving words of wisdom or giving like a quip here or there, it's still memorable. You know what I mean? No matter who played Alfred.
Yeah.
Do you know what, dude? When are we going to see Alfred in battle mode, huh?
If
Yeah.
they have any sprites.
Alfred does have sprites. I think he does.
I mean, if for God's
Ones
sake,
that can
Negan...
fight?
Probably.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
so.
if Negan and Bomberman have sprites, then I'm certain Alfred must.
Yeah, no.
I'll try and find some, but I've been looking, and I've been looking for like Harvey Bullock sprites because I had some plans.
Wait, you're
but
telling me there are no sprites of that character?
Harvey Bullock? No.
What is wrong with Muggin? You're telling me
Good question.
You're telling me Negan's worthy of having a sprite, but not those two?
Well, at least Commissioner Gordon has a sprite.
What?
Yeah, Commissioner Gordon has a sprite.
Well,
That's disappointing.
yeah, no. Well, yeah, no. I agree with you, Duo. And hey, Alfred also gets some badass moments in this universe, especially in the next movie where he wields a motherfucking shotgun.
I'm gonna have some fun things to say about that movie.
Surprisingly, me too, because that is actually my favorite of this universe.
Yeah.
And
We'll get to
saying a
that
lot.
eventually.
yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. We should do a podcast dedicated to Alfred.
Do you know what? I agree with that. We should definitely.
We should. Like, it
I
doesn't
don't
matter
mind it.
which. We could do all the versions of stuff. To me, the Alfred in Gotham was very badass.
I mean,
He
he
was
nearly
a
threw a guy off a roof.
I know. I was like, damn, Alfred. I didn't know that you had that in you, dude.
And plus, in Injustice, he fought Superman. He took a drug and fucking headbutted the man.
yeah. Well, he made him. Yeah, so like he made him bleed.
Yeah, when Batman couldn't even do that.
No, yeah, yeah,
Me first, Master Bruce.
yeah. I'm okay with that.
I mean, hey, if people want to see that, I'm totally up for talking about an entire podcast dedicated to Alfred.
Also great, Billy. Now you reminded me of Alfred's fate in the finale of this universe.
Wait, did he actually die in that movie? I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw his death. How did he die?
He just died. He either died off screen or he died when Flash reset this universe.
Okay, well,
Either one.
technically they're not dead then. They're just going to be unalived. Or undeaded.
What?
They're going to be rebirthed. That's what I was looking for.
Unalive? What are you, Deadpool now?
Yeah.
I was going to
Deadpool said that. Deadpool said that in the Amazing
Don't say
Spider-Man, and
Ultimate.
unfortunately, he couldn't say dead because it's a kids show, so he said unalive.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember I used to love that as a kid. I'll definitely say
And also, quick fact: he was voiced by Will Friedle.
Oh,
was
yes.
also the voice voice of Batman, Terry McGinnis.
Are you serious?
And yes.
Oh, that is. I suddenly love that episode even more
Don't
now.
tell me you didn't like his performance as Deadpool, man. Come on, Rich.
There is nobody I like.
How is it this
duo
episode?
in that show?
How is it we went from talking about the son of Batman to Alfred to
I
then
know.
Deadpool?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Deadpool versus Alfred when?
Yes.
So, any final thoughts about this movie? What did you mostly think about Damian as a whole as a character at the end of the film, though?
Meh.
I felt he still had room to grow. Like it's a starting point, but he still had some room to grow. I felt like he started growing up in Batman versus Robin, or is it Robin versus Batman? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's Batman versus Robin.
Okay.
I'm not sure it matters where the verse is.
Right. So I feel like, it's a good start for him to grow and to learn Batman's way of doing things rather than the League of Assassins way. But again, there's still room to grow. That's what I got from it. And we got to see that he still has some things to work on from Batman versus Robin. What was that other Batman one where they had all the Batman family together? Oh my God.
Was that Batman?
Bloodline?
No, Bad Blood. It was Bad Blood.
Bad Blood, yes.
Right.
Even when he was with the Titans, same thing. You got to see him grow and mature as he goes along. You know what I mean? So it was like a good start for Damian, for us to see some growth over the movies.
Okay, so
Fair enough.
essentially, I really like Damian. Duo's kind of in the middle, and Richard is warming up to him. I think he has a soft spot for Damian.
Well, again, like I said, by the end of this universe, I actually do have a soft spot for the guys, especially because I think because he's one of the established pillars of this universe, or I'm sorry, was. I think they did a good job with having him grow. And again, that also can be attributed to his actor, Stuart Allen, who's actually played Damian from Son of Batman all the way to Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So he actually grew with the character himself.
That's great. I really like that. I do like it when they don't just replace the actors just because, you're too old to play the character now.
Yeah, no. And he was 11 when he started on this, and now
he's a good actor.
And he was 11 years old, and now I think he's like 18, maybe 18. So again, he actually grew up playing Damian, quite literally.
Oh, that gives me more respect for the actor then.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Because that's how I think. Like, people need to understand that there's a lot of love that goes into these animations. Like, I wish that same love was put into the live action movies more, but, can't have everything.
Agreed.
Well, at least until we see Zack Snyder's cut.
Oh.
Have you actually seen the live action movie of Justice League yet, Duo?
No, not yet.
Alright then, well, we'll eventually talk about that live action movie when the Snyder cut comes out. It'll be an interesting conversation then.
Okay.
Anyone have any final says for this movie?
Nope.
It's pretty much a B in my book. It's decent, and it's underrated, and I feel like I would rather take this over Batman Bad Blood and Batman Hush any day of the week.
Wait, you hate Batman Hush?
I'll get to my reasons if we ever do it.
Well, funny enough, that's the next one we're talking about.
Wait, what?
I'm joking. No, we're not talking about Batman Hush yet.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, no, because you want to see... You think you've seen me rant? You haven't seen me rant.
Alright, but, okay, so do you have any final say?
No, I pretty much said what I had to say.
Alright, and, overall, I think the film is great. It's not movie of the year, but, if you gave me a choice, either watch this movie or Suicide Squad, Yeah, I'm most likely going to choose this film because this film's more entertaining.
Hey, Suicide Squad had some entertaining points.
It did.
Oh
But...
wait, sorry. Wait, sorry. Say that again. I forgot to do the thing.
I'd rather watch Son of Batman over Suicide Squad.
Are you sweet talking me? Blah blah blah. All that chit chatting's gonna get you hurt.
Oh, I hate that laugh.
Okay, well, now because of that, we're not going to review the next film you wanted to talk about. No, we're definitely talking about Batman the Hush now.
Fuck you. We ain't doing that.
Alright, no, but the next film we are discussing is Death in the Family.
Yay. Oh, the interactive movie, yes.
Yeah. As well as we're also going to talk a bit about Red Hood because it is essentially that, but just more interactive moments for it.
There are three moments. That I'm so curious. Like, we not only get an appearance by Red Hood, we get a huge callback to him being Red Robin and Hush. And oh my goodness, I can't wait to talk about it.
It is this film.
Did you get to see all the endings, Rich?
Oh yeah, yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
I was going into this very skeptical because this is essentially in a way a remaster of one of my favorite animated movies. But you know what? I was not disappointed, and I feel like I love this film more than I love the original.
The only thing is they
hey, don't go too far now. Because if there's one thing this movie didn't do that we all wish it did, they didn't get Jensen Ackles to come back as Red Hood.
That's what I was about to say.
That is true.
I was about to say that.
It's all like, damn it, how dare you? You can't tell me he was busy filming Supernatural because he literally cosplayed as Red Hood for Halloween a couple of years ago. He clearly loves this character, DC. But no, we had to get. But no, why not give Ferb's actor the chance to be Red Hood? It's all like,
I mean,
it's all right, but
I probably could have played a better Red Hood. It'd be weird hearing Jason with a British accent, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's all like, I'm happy they brought back him as Jason to expand his dialogue, but I really did not like how they were like, okay, now you're gonna play Red Hood. It's all like, wait, what? It's all like, you're not bringing back Jensen Ackles? Disappointed.
Can you actually imagine Red Hood with a British accent? All right, mate, I'm gonna knock your jobber off if you come any closer. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just picturing a posh Red Hood now. Like he's gonna kill Joker. Listen, Batman, mate. If you do not stop me, I will break this motherfucker's neck. You hear me, blood?
Please stop.
Never. Alright, so that's the end of the Son of Batman review. We are going to talk about Death in the Family. Briefly also talk about, the Red Hood movie. So, what are your thoughts on the Son of Batman movie? Do you like it? Do you think the hate for it is a bit exaggerated? And do you think Damian is really worth the hate he gets? Like, come on. That little face, that little adorable face that I'm putting on the screen right now.
Okay, now you're pushing it, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, on the plus side, I'm not getting a death counter for this podcast because I'm going to be editing this one.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, put my editing skills to good use.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to share the video around and get the channel growing. But also, I am doing a new Let's Play on Watch Dogs Legion. So, if you want to go into the description and get the playlist of the first 3 episodes. And let these guys do their outros. Richard, you next.
I am Saber King, and look forward to the only video content that actually earns me views and subscribers very, very soon. May my reign last for an eternity.
Duo.
And this is Duo Dreamer, and always dream big.
You stole that from the Red Time Force Ranger duo.